Hello, this is John Ramsey, and this is my big comeback. I have a wonderful guest with me today, Bay County Commissioner Robert Carroll. Robert, thanks for joining us today on the podcast.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I've known you a while. Our children went to school together at Holy Nativity, and we'll talk about the Holy Nativity in a little bit. But tell me about your background. Have you always been in Bay County, or how did you come to Bay County?
No, sir. I actually grew up in Iceland. I'm half Icelandic. My father was military, met my mother. They got married, moved to the States, big American dream.
Wow.
They did not work out. So I was born, and my mother moved us to Iceland. And in June of 1980, she said, "We are moving to the States."
Wow.
So pretty incredible. Yes.
So in 1980, you moved to, did you move to Panama City, or where did you move to?
So we hopped around a lot. My mother, she grew up in orphanages, not a big education, so she's just always been a laborer, a hard worker. I think that's where I attribute my hard work from.
Yeah.
So wherever she could find work is where we lived. We moved to Panama City Beach. I went to West Bay Elementary for a little while. We moved to the Cove. I went to Cherry Street.
Wow.
We moved to Dothan. I went to different third grade and fourth grades in Dothan.
Yeah.
Fifth grade, Walton County.
A lot of moving around.
So wherever she found work is where we moved. And then in 1986, she settled down and bought her first home, and she's still in that same home in Southport. So,
that is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
So you moved here. You were how old when you moved to America?
I was 7.
7. And did you didn't speak English?
I didn't speak any English. No, sir.
So second grade, 7 years old, no English.
None
came
whatsoever.
to America
Absolutely.
and just jumped in the deep end of the pool. Huh?
Yes, sir. Well, I was an American citizen because I was born on a Navy base in the States, Millington, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I had my citizenship. That allowed my mom to come here. And anyway, it's been an amazing journey. And
How challenging was that to be in second grade and not speak English? I mean,
so I spent a lot of time in a portable in West Bay Elementary, me and a language teacher, and her, probably typically working with Spanish kids, or never had worked with an Icelandic kid, and probably never have since.
Wow.
Because they have their own language.
Yeah.
So,
it is very different.
But I would sit at home. I remember having headsets on and tapes and read books, and I'd sit there and read along with it as I listened to it and
See,
picked
that
up
is
the
that is
language.
fascinating, and I think a lot of times we see people and we don't realize, where they've journeyed from and all that, and that's fantastic. So tell me about your college and all that, your education. Where did you go? And
So graduated from Mosley High School, and I was a football player at Mosley, and thought I was going to continue playing, and had an opportunity to go play football at a small school in Kentucky, and played up there 1 year, did great, and then
where at in Kentucky?
it's called Kentucky Wesleyan, Owensboro, Kentucky, right by the Indiana border.
I know where Owensboro is. I've got relatives in Murray.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I've got a lot of kin folks in Murray.
While I was in school there, just across the river in Indiana, they were filming League of Their Own, and a buddy of mine, Madonna, he'd see her running through his neighborhood.
Oh, is that right? I didn't realize they filmed that up there. That's
They
great.
did. So, but then my elbow came out of socket, and I thought, I probably ought to do something different.
Yeah.
So I moved back home, went to Gulf Coast. I put myself through school there, and then got an opportunity to go to FSU. Paid my way to go to FSU engineering school.
Wow.
So it's
Man, you've been through it. Let me tell you, that's
Absolutely.
pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. And I think that a lot of people don't realize the journey that people make.
Sure.
And so you chose engineering.
I did civil engineering, and I met my partner. I interned my last year of school, Sean McNeil. This is our 30th year working together.
30 years.
Pretty amazing.
Wow.
Better yet, just a couple of days ago, my wife and I celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary.
That's fantastic.
So growing up, moving around, I was unstable, but I've been very stable in my adulthood.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, and we all have those journeys. And like my father was military, and that's what brought us to Panama City. But he was in Korea and Vietnam, and we moved. I mean, I don't remember a lot of them because I was little.
Sure.
But there's 5 of us boys, all 5 of us born on a different Air Force base.
Wow.
And I was actually born in Limestone, Maine, which the base doesn't even exist now. They've closed it down. But I think that a lot of Bay County has that eclectic background of people, and because neither my mom or my dad, neither one had relatives here. They liked the town.
It's amazing. We all end up here, but once you get that
we
sand-
moved here in 1980.
Oh, no
We moved here
kidding.
in 1980, and of course I was 12, and but we just it was a thing where I think we planned on staying 3 or 4 years and moving on somewhere else. But my dad was at that age where I'm retiring and I'm going to go into civil service. There's a civil service job here at Tyndall. He took the job. We never left. This just became home. And I love Panama City.
And it is home.
Yeah, it is home.
Yeah.
It's a great town, and I know you're involved in with the commission as a commissioner. And I asked you this right before we started taping. You're the senior commissioner there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, not the oldest.
For the record, I'm not the oldest.
You're
yes.
not the oldest, but you've been there the longest time. How long have you been a commissioner?
I've been fortunate to be there for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The 10 roughest years in Bay County history.
I don't know about that. No,
I'm telling you.
we have had our opportunities. How about that?
The hurricane, no one's ever faced it. Not our community has never faced what we did. Do you think that was the toughest time that you've been through on the commission? The 10 years on the commission?
I would say absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. I mean, that was just tragic. It
Unprecedented.
brought us all to our knees, made us all really be thankful for what we had and the community that we have. We all realized that we lost stuff, but we didn't lose our community.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't lose our home. So
Yeah.
we lost our houses, but
Yeah.
we're all still coming back. I know your church is still
Yeah.
still rebuilding.
Almost done. But let me tell you, it's been a rough 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that it's like the first year after the hurricane, you couldn't get anything done. Everybody needed the same thing at the same time. The infrastructure was damaged, and that took a lot to get going. I know, was the debris the biggest obstacle? Was the power what was the biggest challenge with the hurricane?
You know, we had Gulf Power back then, and FPL, I'm sure, would have done the same thing. But for the resources they pulled in here to have power back in 2 weeks,
It's amazing.
unprecedented.
It's
I mean,
amazing.
just phenomenal that all of that power got restored. But then we had all the debris, and that's the county. We had to either sit and wait for the government to come help us, or we could, put on our big boy pants and do it ourselves.
Yeah.
So we went and borrowed $300 million to go do the cleanup. And we are still waiting on the last $100 million to be reimbursed from the federal government.
Wow.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
There's interest that comes with that.
There's interest. We're in the same boat. We're waiting on reimbursements, I think, close to 7 or 8 months now. And, you have to pay interest on that money while you're waiting it. And it's not as, I think people hear, they got a FEMA grant. It's not all it's cut out to be. I mean, you still have to kick in a lot of money, and then you have to spend it first and then wait for it to come back, which, it seems like it's not that they're moving the goalpost, but with the change of administrations and different people, it's been a rough go. I feel like I'm talking to someone new every time I talk to them. I think we're on our 15th project manager.
Wow.
And I mean, we've had a couple that just didn't know what they were doing, and we've had some that have been really good, but they don't seem to stay, and they keep changing personnel, and it's a nightmare.
Well, we have the same
really
kind of
is.
thing with our roadways. They're trying to do a clawback on us right now for $30 million.
Yeah.
We showed them that the trucks created all the damage. We proved we had a pavement index done prior to the storm, so we knew what our roadways were.
Yeah.
We showed them the data. They awarded us $24 million, $26 million, and we did the work. They came back and said, we shouldn't have given you that money. It's like, it's a little late, guys. We've already paved these roads. So,
well, I mean, we're facing some of the toughest things, but beyond the hurricane, COVID. What's some of the other big issues that have come up?
So after the storm, remember, we lost all those trees, and those trees just stayed on the ground. That became fuel.
Yeah.
Then we had that dry heat that came through, and then we started having wildfires.
Yeah.
Largest wildfire I think we've ever had in Bay County.
Yeah.
So that's another big challenge.
Yeah.
So we have now since gone to the state legislature, got some appropriations, and put in more water lines, more fire hydrants to help in some of those areas. And we still got a long way to go.
Yeah, still a lot of debris.
A lot of debris.
I mean, I know a lot of places that are still
it's drying out.
It's drying out, and but it's just too much there's no way to really get it out of there. It's all mixed up and everything.
There's no way.
It's just got to rot down.
Let nature take its course.
Nature take its course, and do you think the timber industry is done for our area, Northwest Florida?
Oh, no, sir, not at all.
They're going to rebound?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they will for sure.
Yeah.
Mariana area and, to the east of us, that was all forestry.
Yeah.
That was their livelihood.
And, if you look at the satellite swath of Hurricane Michael, it did take out a big area, but there's a lot more area there also. It's the footprint. I have this image that someone made me of the hurricane, the satellite image of where it went through. I said, the church is right there, right there. I mean, like, it came out, slapped me on the head. I mean, it was, we were sheltered in the church during the storm, and it was an experience, I'm telling you. I don't think I'd ever do one again. We had rode a bunch of, we had ridden out 4 storms. The only one that was super close was Hurricane Opal, and of course we lost the sign and some gutters. We're thinking that, but that's not what Hurricane Michael was. And I think the lesson I learned, and a lot of people learned, is you really don't know. You don't know what it's going to be.
You left behind stuff. Go spend that $200 on a hotel room and keep your family safe.
Yeah,
we can rebuild.
We can rebuild.
We can't rebuild our bodies. So that's the challenge.
Yeah, I guess so. And I think that a lot of people, with stuff like schools, churches, I think FEMA told me it was 84 churches that was destroyed in Hurricane Michael. But, even things like, I remember trying to go to Lowe's and Home Depot, well, their stores were damaged. Oh, yeah. The bank was damaged, the this and that. The bank called me about something like 2 days after the hurricane. And I said, I needed to sign some paper or something like that. And I said, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. And they said, why not? This person's calling me from Birmingham or wherever they were. And I said, because your bank is not open. And they said, oh yeah. And I said, no, I'm in Panama City. And so the person calls me back later. I'm so sorry that I called you. I didn't realize that your bank was damaged. And the bank wasn't open. Home Depot wasn't open. I mean, they were in the parking lot. And, I have people sometimes visit. They'll come to Panama City Beach or after the storm, right after the storm, come to Panama City Beach. It doesn't look that bad. I said, drive about 20 miles. Exactly. And that's something I really learned is, that maybe the evacuation, which I know you can't tell exactly where it's going to come in, but maybe the evacuation isn't always head straight north. I mean, we could have drove to Destin and watched a movie and come back and been fine, but you don't know that. You don't really know the exact where it's going to come in. And
the years we evacuated, we typically would end up in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And at the Jacksonville Mall would be 200 people from Bay County. Yeah. It was amazing. Little reunion. So.
Yeah. Did you stay during the storm? Were you in the emergency operations center?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We got out probably within an hour after it all passed. They could open the doors and we immediately started doing assessment.
Yeah. And so buildings have really hardened, from all that. Did they do an official change on everything, or are we still the same as the rest of the state on wind load and wind capacity? I know with our building with FEMA, we scaled it up, but that was just our building. Yeah. Because we were offered more money if we hardened the building. Yep. So, and we did. We took it, and we our new building's like a tank.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. Especially like Tyndall. Tyndall is the base of the future, and you can bring on any storm when they get done, and it's not going to do any damage there.
Amazing. But did they change the building code at all, or is it the same?
They reassess the building code every several years. And, yes, sir, it is. I think we have 140-mile-an-hour wind zones that you have to comply with. Yeah. It depends on how close you are to the coastal area. Yeah.
Because I know our old church was built for 130 mile an hour, which was not enough for Hurricane Michael. Sure. And but now I think the new rating is 175, which not everybody. I'm talking about what we agreed to build to.
Yeah, most everybody does, I believe, a 140.
Yeah, so. Yeah. So we really hardened it, and limited windows, limited glass. We did all that to make it a tougher building, and it of course now I say I would stay in our church for any storm now, and my wife says, never again.
Not at all.
Says you'll be there by yourself. I'm not staying for another one. And
the openings. You want to make sure you don't have those openings.
I understand.
Once that wind gets in, it's got to come out.
And it's like people with garage doors. It's a lot of where your house fails is the older garage doors fold in, and then it's a wind tunnel and just tears your house apart.
My partner decided to stay in his condo, and it's there at the end of Beck Avenue. Him and his brother were in there holding the door as long as they could, and they just couldn't hold the door any longer. They ran around the corner, the wind came through, and it blew out an entire wall that fell into the pool. And he is, by gosh, lucky he didn't get sucked out of that. Wow. It was amazing that he actually survived that. Yeah. But once that wind comes in, you're toast.
You're toast. I mean, it just blows it apart, lifts, once it gets any kind of lift on there, it just blows it apart. Well, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to get into some personal stuff here. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to connect your organization with an audience that is eager for inspiration? The My Big Comeback podcast, hosted by John R. Ramsey, shares powerful stories of resilience and redemption, featuring guests who have turned life setbacks into major comebacks. New episodes drop the 1st and 15th of every month. For those interested in being a part of this community, sponsorship opportunities are now available. To learn more, contact Meredith Cobb at meredithcobbhwc@gmail.com. Let's make a big comeback together.
Hey, I'm back here at My Big Comeback. I'm with Robert Carroll. We've been talking about the storm, but let's talk about some of the other things you're involved in. Are you still the president of the board for Holy Nativity, or?
No, sir. I did that while my girls were in school there.
Okay.
We figured out a long time ago that if your kids are involved in something, you should get involved in it. And we've always done that, whether it's soccer, Holy Nativity, anything that our kids are involved.
That's
my wife is
fantastic.
involved at Mosley heavily because our daughter's about to be a senior there. So we believe in giving back for sure.
That's, and the schools are important. They all went through their own challenges with damage and all that kind of stuff. And so what other organizations are you involved in right now? I'm sure the commission keeps you plenty busy by itself.
Oh, commission is extremely busy. Bay Defense Alliance, love helping those guys. And at the county, we're also involved in a bunch of subcommittees.
Yeah.
I sit on the Gulf Consortium Board. I sit on the finance board for the Gulf Consortium. We go to other city meetings. I sit on I chair the CDC board meeting in Mexico Beach.
Oh, wow.
They're a leg of the TDC.
Yeah.
So, we stay quite busy.
You stay quite busy. Tell me about Tyndall right now. You think they're 50% done, or where are they at?
It is hard to gauge. I would say that they're over 50. We would hope so. They got the new flyover. Have you been over there and seen that?
I haven't even seen it.
It splits. So now they can actually go from one side to the other. They used to have to go out a gate, stop at the red light, go across, go in another gate to get to the flight line.
So they put that overpass over the main gate and
that
stuff.
way they have clear,
working on the
movement throughout
bridge.
We're getting a brand new bridge. It's in construction.
2 years to be done?
They said it's a 5-year project.
5-year project, and they just started.
They just started.
So be a
we
while
had to
on that.
relocate the water line to get that out of their way. We bored underneath the bay there.
Wow.
Make sure we've got adequate water for Tyndall and Mexico Beach. There's still growth to come in Mexico Beach. There's a lot of developments happening in Mexico Beach.
I should hope so. I've always felt like it was underdeveloped for its proximity to Tyndall. That it could stand a lot of growth and really a beautiful area. I mean, it's a beautiful area.
It has been discovered.
Yeah.
The amount of visitors that are coming to Mexico Beach is phenomenal.
That's fantastic.
They've built some apartments over there, so I think there's some Tyndall folks that live over there. What a nice commute to go from Tyndall Air Force Station to Mexico Beach every day.
I mean, it's closest. What they've always lacked was grocery stores and restaurants, and so hopefully they'll get some more of that, rebuilding Toucans and all that.
Toucans is supposed to open by the end of this month, is what I've been told.
That's fantastic. Always one of my favorite places. I've missed it for 7 years.
That's where we always went to the beach.
Yeah,
because they had the playground out back.
Right, nice and real handy and all that. And St. Joe on the other time zone. Do you think we'll ever change time zone for Bay County?
No, sir. I
can't
can't imagine seeing that. Well, Gulf County's split.
Yeah, it's so confusing. I don't know.
It's the job being superintendent, having schools in 2 different time zones.
Yeah, that would be a mess. So you with your family, I know your wife's involved in music and all, and Sharon, she's a lot of that and a great singer and all that. So do you get to take in a lot of that with her? Or?
Oh, of course. Anytime. I don't miss any of her performances. She just wrapped up her 15th year of doing Arts Alive.
Yeah,
she's
that's a great program.
Oh, it's amazing.
Great program. I love the idea of getting those young people to show their gifts, get out there and share it, because a lot of people have that as a hobby, but they just don't share it, and you need to share it. That's what God gave you that gift for.
Oh my God,
man, let it out.
Exactly.
I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Some of those students they just performed this week at Gulf Coast. They had the young orchestra or young symphony. It was amazing to watch these kids. There's a girl that she plays the harp and got a full ride to Baylor.
I love it.
Showcasing her music. So
that's fantastic.
Loved working with her.
So what do you do for a hobby? What does Robert do as far as when you're not doing all this other stuff? You play golf, you fish, you hunt?
I'm not a golfer, not a fan. I tried it. I'm a little too competitive. I want to win every time. So the one and only yard sale we had, the first thing I put out the road was the golf clubs.
How you done with them, huh?
It was a guilt thing more than anything, probably. I think the 4 hours you're gone, I was not with my girls, and that was when they were young. Yeah. But we have a boat. I love being on my boat and wetting the hook, go fishing.
Yeah.
Don't get to do it very often, but I do love being on the water.
How far out do you go?
We typically stay in the bay.
Yeah.
I've got a bay boat. We try to fish for some trout and reds, and take the dog with us.
You know, I'm the same way. I mean, when it comes to going 30 miles out in the Gulf or whatever, I'm going to let a professional do that. I want someone that's, and plus, I wouldn't do it enough to justify the expense of having it. I mean, because those are big rigs.
It's about $200 a pound, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big rig, and you know, I had a friend that had a boat, and he pulled up to the gas pump. It was about $1,500 to fill up, and I said, I don't think I would enjoy this. You know, that's a lot. That's more than I want to do. But I enjoy the fishing and all. I mean, we got a great outdoor area and all, and you know, Deer Point Lake. You know, when you're talking about like South Florida, you know, they experience some water shortages and this and that, and when you see the things like in California where serious water shortages, and Las Vegas, we don't have that. We have one of the greatest aquifers there is with Econfina and Deer Point and all that, and
1 million gallons a day still goes over the dam.
Going to the dam. That's what I had a neighbor. I had a neighbor that moved from California, and he was talking about you know, he was in a drought area where they were, you know, can only water the grass so many hours a week, and then they would go into no water days where they weren't allowed to use anything. Wow. And I said, we pump about 1 million gallons out into the bay. He said, that's unheard of. He said, I said, what will we do with it? I mean, it's got to go somewhere. And he says, it blew his mind. He says, I can't imagine you wasting that much water. I said, it's not wasted. I said, it's just nature. I said, you know, it's got to go somewhere. And I said, it's been flowing into the Gulf of Mexico since the beginning of time. I said, that's the way it's always is. But I think, you know, I go back to that, and I think, you know, maybe you all built in the wrong place. You know, it's like if there's no water, it's what I always think about with Las Vegas, is because it's getting so big. And they already have water challenges, and they're still adding in neighborhoods. These neighborhoods with 1,000 houses, 2,000 houses.
Still going to be a desert.
Still, and I'm thinking, is anyone thinking about this? But you know, they're not. Kind
of like Atlanta, the growth they went through.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't put any wells down. They relied on that Lake Lanier.
Lake Lanier, that's it. Yeah, they've dried it up. So what's the biggest challenge we're facing in Bay County? Is it infrastructure?
Probably so. I mean, we're still dealing with a lot of growth. We have been discovered. You know, we're upwards of 200,000 for a population now, which is just crazy.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that is a lot of growth.
It is a lot of growth.
Because what were we pre-storm? About 150, 160?
Around 176, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, that was another challenge that we went through after the storm. We had the census come in. And, you know, we had a lot of people that were displaced.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of our tax dollars are based on population.
Yeah.
And especially the cities. So if you have people that are in Callaway, moved to the beach while they rebuilt, during the census, they weren't counted. Yeah. So for tax distribution, that hurts those cities.
That did hurt. That did hurt. You think the fastest growing area is what? The beach?
It's kind of going northward. You know, we've got towards the beach side, you've got Margaritaville. I just met a gentleman the other day, moved from California specifically for Margaritaville. Yeah. 5 generations of California moving here because of Margaritaville.
I have heard that they want to actually make that their own town. You know, not in Margaritaville, but that whole section between 30A and all that, they want to incorporate it at some point. Have you heard that?
I have not.
Yeah, maybe it's just
if that's a challenge or opportunity they want to go through, then you know that would.
I mean, they're looking for big growth. I mean, they're really planning, but there is a lot of people moving out
Highway
there.
231. If you ever get in that traffic on 231 in the mornings, it's quite brutal.
Yeah,
we're in the process of trying to. DOT is the acquisition for 6-laning.
What section is that for 6-laning? From where to where?
So I don't know if it's the correct term, but we call it Malfunction Junction. You know, where 231 and 98 Harrison all come together. From there, that's moving northward. That's all of that is in property acquisition now. Yeah, and it'll move up north of Pipeline, continue to go up north.
And is it my understanding you can't do the railroad side of the road? It's got all the acquisitions got to be from the other side.
The railroad's private. That's their right of way,
and no one's changing that. That'll be there. That'll be there forever. Yeah,
it will be.
So it's all going to be on that one side. You know. Yep. So how far up do you think that'll go? The 6-lane?
It'll go at least Pipeline or Star. For now, I think it'll be Star.
Yeah. And then, of course, the big overpass at Harrison and
there'll be one there, also at 77.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yep. That'd be great.
So all that property has already been acquired. Yeah. As you see where the old Sears building was, the maintenance building.
Is it going to cut into that area, mall property? Really? Wow.
Yep. I think the retention pond is planned in there. All those business that you see on 77 was the flower store. We had Chick-fil-A there on the corner. Yeah. All of those have been acquired.
Yeah.
for that expansion. Gulf
So-
Marine.
So what about, any news on the malls, anything happening with,
It's a private, and the
Yeah,
other challenge
I know.
is that JCPenney and Dillard's, they own their own buildings.
Yeah.
So those are two separate property owners as well. If they could all get together and come up with a development, I think that's incredible opportunity, whether it's
Yeah.
a civic
it's a
center,
great
outdoor
piece
mall.
of property, yeah.
Yeah.
Great piece of, I've never really understood that, how those stores are privately owned and the other area is another owner. That's a complicated
It
thing.
is complicated.
A
Yeah.
complicated
It's the way it was
thing.
developed.
Yeah.
That was, I believe, in the early 80s when that mall was
Yeah.
developed.
Yeah. How many acres is that, do you know? The mall
I'm not
property?
sure.
It's huge.
It's a large tract.
It's huge, and it's a
And with the
right
parking already in,
dead center of town. I mean, just beautiful
it
property.
could be
and
the gateway.
it could be the gateway.
Would that not be phenomenal for Panama City?
Yeah. And so, and the things like the marina and all that, is all that coming along with, I know that's
Those
Panama
are all
City.
Panama City.
I
Yes,
know
sir.
it's Panama City, but
The St. Andrews one, it's coming and going real well. And downtown, I think they're close, if they haven't already awarded a contract to get that rebuilt.
yeah.
We live in the Cove, so we would love to see it.
Yeah, yeah.
The Indigo and Harrison's, they're thriving.
They're
but
beautiful.
they're really going to thrive
Yeah.
if you come by boat.
Yeah, that's beautiful. All of that's really pretty. So I'm thinking that I'm still drawn to that whole 30A area, that edge of Bay County over towards that this extreme west side. A lot of growth there. Is most of that fueled by St. Joe? I mean they've got a lot of development over there.
Just inside Walton County, every bit of that, I believe, is St. Joe.
Yeah.
But here on the Bay County side, there's a lot of private development occurring in there.
Yeah, and the new hospital.
Isn't that
That's
amazing?
that's amazing. That's
It
amazing.
will eventually be a 500-bed hospital.
I don't think Bay County really appreciates of what a jewel that is, because it's I mean a university funded hospital, they become the top because they get a lot of research that other hospitals don't get. And so I mean it'll give us an opportunity to have things in our community that we've never had. We've never had. So a lot of research. You see these hospitals, they kind of get known for a specialty, and it's mostly fueled by the research.
Right.
The research goes there, so they become the hospital that deals with cancer. They become the hospital that's premier on heart research or whatever. And for us to get something like that, it's just it's amazing, and it'll fuel growth because you'll have different things built around that hospital that support that hospital.
Well, and that's the biggest thing that we just recently met with the FSU president, and he was talking about that, is that's what they're lacking is research.
Yeah,
That's what he came from, the background of Harvard and all these other places, to where, they're so focused on research, and that's what his goal is to get more research for FSU. So go Noes, by the way.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I mean, it's great for our community, and it's just another thing that adds another layer of why Bay County is a great place to live.
Well, it's more diversity. It's,
Yeah,
we know we rely on tourism.
Yeah.
We've got an incredible military background, our presence, but we also, to expand in that military, the medical field would be just phenomenal.
Yeah, it'd be another strong
Sure.
arm, and because I know we couldn't survive without the military. I mean, Bay County is so dependent on it, and tourism is what the world knows us for. We got the most beautiful beaches in the world.
Number 2 drive destination in Florida.
I'm telling you, it's always been. I always tell everybody that I don't have beaches on my bucket list because I live at the most beautiful beach in the world. I mean, it just is. I've been to California. I've been to the other places, and it's pretty in its own way, but it's not as pretty as Panama City Beach.
When I came here as a 7-year-old from Iceland, obviously a lot of snow. When I first saw that sugar white sand, I truly thought that was snow.
Really,
I had no idea that
we were
was
looking
sand.
for Iceland. I wanted to be snow so
With
bad.
the water.
Yeah. Have you been back to Iceland?
I have, yes, sir.
Yeah.
The last time I was back was when my grandmother passed away.
Yeah. When was that?
About 17 years ago.
Yeah.
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 So it was when, while I was there was an earthquake. We were out in the country and it rumbled, and then a volcano erupted, and it had so much ash, it shut down literally all of Europe because they couldn't fly. There was so much ash.
I do
in
remember
the air.
that. I
That was my
remember
grandma.
that.
So we said that was her going away party. So
Oh wow. Wow.
everybody will never forget, I'm not going away. So.
Tell me about Iceland. Is it it's a democracy?
Sure.
Is it I mean, tell me about what would be interesting about
It is-
that.
it has become
I don't
a
know anything about
hot
it.
spot for tourism.
Yeah.
Because it's got the cleanest air, purest water. You can literally go on a stream on the side of the road, put your cup down, and get you a glass of water.
Wow.
It's just that pure.
Wow.
Food's incredible. Like I remember I grew up on lamb. Here we eat chicken. There we eat lamb. They just let the lamb free and let them eat on the grass, and they just tag them. And so just phenomenal. But great food, great seafood, incredible people, very proud people.
Yeah.
So,
So you think what's their main industry besides tourism? Do they
a lot of fishing.
a lot of fishing?
Yeah,
I would
sure.
imagine so.
Yeah.
A lot of seafood industry.
But
And
if you don't have a bucket list, that would be one I would suggest.
I want to. I'll put
trip.
that on my bucket list. I think that would be
Absolutely.
neat to go to. Where else have you been?
We've been to Italy a couple of times. We've been to Greece,
What part of Italy?
Venice.
Yeah.
We've been to Tuscany,
Beautiful.
Florence, Rome.
That's great.
We've made multiple trips.
What was your favorite as far as Europe?
I'm a people watcher. I love to watch people. I love to watch different cultures. As you can tell, I'm a foodie, so I love to eat. Love experiencing
too.
different
Yeah, me
foods. That's what we loved about Greece so much.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the food was so good.
Really?
We went for a wedding, a traditional wedding in Venice.
Oh.
It was amazing. It was a family when the first time we met. We've always kept in touch.
Wow.
They sent their daughter to live with us one summer for her to learn better English. We
Wow.
hosted her a summer, and then when she got married, she called my wife and said, "I want you to do the music. Will you come be in my wedding?" So
That's beautiful.
what a great time. We took our girls so they could experience a different culture.
That's fantastic.
So, amazing.
Is that the furthest you've been? Iceland and Europe and all that?
Yes, sir.
Have you been to Australia? Never been.
No, I would love
You
to
want
go
to go? Is it on the
Australia.
list?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
My wife and I love to travel.
Yeah.
So
I love to travel too. I don't know if I want to go to Australia. I might. It's never
Little
know.
warm.
Little warm. It's probably the furthest of the vacation spots that people talk about.
It's not on the top of the list, but it's on the list.
Yeah. What about South America? Have you been to South America with any?
We have not. And so we have. There's so many places that we still want to see.
Yeah.
We've got a map in our house with pins on it.
Oh,
where
it's
we've
cool.
traveled, so.
I love it. Let's take a break. We'll be right back in just a minute.
Heroes Child is a nonprofit organization that is on a mission to help community heroes with the everyday cost of childcare. We know that heroes like our military personnel, first responders, and foster families need care for their children. Heroes Child awards these families scholarships that go to help pay their childcare tuition. Use the QR code on the screen to donate now or visit heroeschild.org today.
So we were talking about travel. I'm here with Robert Carroll, Bay County Commissioner, and we was talking about travel and everything. And it's fun. It's nice to take a trip, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, it's something that sticks with you. Your girls are getting older now. I guess you got one in college.
Got one who graduates in December
fixed
from
to be
college, and one will be about to senior in high school.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yeah, excited.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So do they feel like they're going to, what college did the oldest go to?
She is at Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern.
Statesboro,
okay.
Georgia.
So
Yes, sir.
close.
Yeah.
Close enough to get home.
6 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours. Yeah, that's good.
It's not as close to Tallahassee would be. But
I
that's
just
okay.
had a daughter move to the Boston area, and it's too far. It's far enough that you can't get there in a hurry.
Yeah,
you know.
you're right.
So I like that whole 5-6 hours away. That's
Yeah.
close enough. If you need something, Dad can get to you.
Exactly.
You know, but Boston, you cannot get to them real quick. So
You're hopping on a plane.
what about Gigi? What's she thinking?
So she'll be at Mosley next year, and right now I think leaning towards nursing.
Yeah.
So that would be
That's
a great
great.
field for her. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I think that, there's a lot of great schools around us. So our kids have a lot of good options, and I'm thankful for that. There's of course, Florida State, Florida, all that. But, great schools with UCF, not that far away.
South Florida. Same thing.
The school of Pensacola, great. I mean, there's a
West
lot of
Florida,
great. There's a lot of great schools, and a lot of them close by that they have a lot of good options.
Absolutely.
And I'm thankful for that. So there's
She
a lot.
goes in the medical field. She's pretty well set for life. I mean,
Yeah.
we're always going to need medicine.
You're always going to need medicine is all part of it. So what do you read these days, Robert? Do you read anything that you like?
Here, unfortunately, it's mainly have to do with the county. It's
Contracts.
land plan use, or zoning change.
The latest zoning contract or what
Absolutely.
zoning.
Well, in my
problem.
private business, we have an engineering firm, and so we develop anywhere from Pensacola to Tallahassee. So we cover a lot of jurisdiction.
How much has technology changed in the engineering part. Did you, or you're not old enough, you remember the old draftsman table?
Oh, of course.
Do you really?
We have one in the office.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
So it used to be a ruler and pencil and all of that.
That was a little before my time. I got in when AutoCAD, we were like version 12. It was a DOS based.
Oh, wow.
But it was great.
But now, I mean, how is AI affecting that? Does it or has it yet?
I just met with a client last week, and she showed me this rendering of her development she wants to do. And I was like, wow, who is your architect? She goes, oh, I don't have one. This is all AI generated.
Wow.
And it was amazing.
Wow.
It had all the trees and where all of her, components of the development go. I mean,
I could imagine
it was so
being
cool.
useful with that
Absolutely.
because just be able to say, add some trees or, put me a sidewalk between these two buildings or whatever,
It told the story.
Yeah.
By looking at this picture, I knew exactly what she wanted.
It's amazing.
In the old days, we would get hopefully a napkin that says, I want a building in a parking lot.
But you're seeing that probably the beginnings of it, huh?
Absolutely.
With AI.
You start to see it a lot in presentations.
Yeah.
At school, they got to monitor that to make sure the kids aren't overusing it and making their own reports.
Yeah.
So that's the other challenge to education. That
What's the most
kids have got to
Yeah.
not quit thinking.
Yeah, well, and I had someone was really negative on AI. So it's not human, this and that, and that. Well, I said, but I said, it's progress. It's the way we're going. And this is the best analogy I heard. I think it was the president of Intel said this. Said, it's here. It's not going away. There's nothing you can do about it. But they said, think about it like this. There was a time that everyone dug ditches with shovels, and then someone invented a steam-powered excavator that could do the work of 100 men, but it still needed an excavator operator. And nowadays you wouldn't think of building a road with shovels. You use equipment. Yeah. And he said AI is just another piece of equipment that is going to be used, and there's no turning away. You're not gonna protest against it and it go away. So embrace it and find the ways that it can be used in your business, in your line of work, and learn to harness that power and use it.
Absolutely.
Learn, and he said like this: learn to operate the excavator because it's not going anywhere.
That's right. Absolutely.
And that's
we
just
still have
part
to have
of
that
it.
human touch.
It's just
in the engineering, we still have to have that quality control. So we still have that final touch on it.
Yeah.
But it helps us with the vision.
Yes. I use it. Someone asked me, would you ever use that to help you with your sermon or whatever? I said, I use it every Sunday. I said, I don't say, hey, write a message on forgiveness. I said, but I use it in my research. And I look at, show it to me in the Greek, show me another translation. I'll use it in my research all the time, and it's handy. It's helpful. Sure. I mean, I used to have a library of all these books, and I had to break it down and look at it. Law, building, everything. It's just, it's basically taking every computer in the world and putting it on your computer.
Or in your pocket.
You can't turn that down.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't turn that down. I'm surprised that people are so afraid of it because it's just another version of what we already have.
Oh, it is. Absolutely. Yep.
So,
you know how to use it. That makes you that much better.
Have you seen any other big changes in technology as far as engineering and that kind of stuff? Is it mostly just the CAD and
it's
all
mainly
of
the
that?
CAD. Yeah. And a lot of it, like in the field, we do all of our stuff in CAD. We basically hand them the software, and then they put it into their equipment, and their equipment then uses the laser guides to do grading.
On roads, I mean, you see every bulldozer's got the little laser thing on the thing, and I mean, imagine that. You're basically from satellite. You're choosing the grade of that road. Sure. And just know.
They're using drone technology now to do surveying.
Oh, tell me about
that. Pick up elevations. Oh, absolutely. So what used to take 3 weeks to go do all the field cut, the lines, and do all that. Now they fly it with a drone or plane and get all the data.
I've seen a couple of apps that say show the property lines of your property. Yeah. Where are they doing that just guessing from GPS stuff, or is it?
So it's more photography. Mapping? They still have to go out in the field and locate the corners because that is precise. You have to know exactly where that corner is. That's not something you're going to rely on.
But they don't have to cut the trail through anymore from corner to corner.
Not at all.
They can say, here's the four corners.
But it's not as precise. That guy is sticking that rod on the ground, but at the same time, he's also balancing it. So you're getting a reading, and now we're getting this true data from these
drones. I never even thought about that. That is amazing. I saw a report on yesterday where they're using drones for school security, where they can now. And I forget what the name of the company was, but they've got a system. So they have a bank of drones on the hallway, right on the hall. Looks like almost like a the old bat nest that they used to put on a house. And it's got this big box, and the guy presses a button, and when he presses the security button, these doors look like garage doors open up. These drones fly out and go through the hallway and find where the trouble is and show a live picture to the office. So if it's a fight, if it's a shooting or active shooter, if it's a fire, they press a button and the drone goes and finds the problem and puts it on camera, where the people in the office are looking at, no, the problem is there's an active shooter in hallway number 4, or there's kids pulled the fire alarm in hallway number 6. They know exactly, which I thought, man, that's brilliant. I mean, it's
another one's lifeguard.
Yeah, lifeguard.
They can take and drop
you a flotation device.
Isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's a good use of technology, and I think we're kind of seeing the old cartoon we grew up on, probably the Jetsons. We're seeing but every time
we didn't even have TV except at night.
Yeah,
there was one television.
One
station.
television. Everything. When I tell my kids that TV shut off at midnight, and they said, "What? What are you talking about? Shut off?" I said, "Yeah, color." They'd play the national anthem, color bars would come on, and I remember getting up on Saturday morning cartoons.
I remember that.
Waiting, looking at those color bars, waiting for the television to kick on, and I said, they said, "Well, we don't understand it." I said, "Well, television station used to be run by a person, and the person had to get there and flick it on. He had to turn it on in the morning for all of us to have television, because they were broadcasting this." But they just don't get it. It's like
totally different.
Even Olivia, me telling her about the phone being tethered to the wall, she said, "What for?
It was cool when you had that 100-foot cord almost.
I liked it. So if I was going to talk to Robert about, what inspires you, what's on your bucket list, name some things you'd like to do that you haven't done yet.
Still travel and see more parts of our country, some of our national parks.
Yeah.
That's not something that we have done.
Yeah.
We've been in New York City. We've been in Nashville. We learned a long time ago to, with our girls, you can buy them a bunch of stuff at Christmas, but if you buy a trip, that's a memory.
They never forget it. Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
We're going to go see Jack Johnson in August. That was my Christmas present this past year, and the girls are so excited.
That's
Mina's
great.
going to drive from college. We're all going to go up there. So being with family, it's probably the number one thing. Yeah. Anything I can do with my family is on the bucket list.
Travel and see some places and get them together and all that.
Absolutely. Making memories.
Great.
Love making memories.
Making memories is beautiful. What about Bay County? What's some things you'd like to see happen in Bay County that we haven't seen yet?
Haven't seen.
What's some of the goals that we got for?
Obviously, keep up with growth. But we'd like to have. Do you remember making memories at Miracle Strip?
Oh yeah.
I
miss that.
Petticoat Junction.
That was wonderful. Wasn't
those
it?
Being on those swings over by the water.
It was beautiful.
We had some more entertainment like that.
Yeah.
But now you've got the dinner theater. My oldest and I just went to the dinner theater about 2 weeks ago. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
You got Top Golf.
Yeah,
You're about to have a surf park.
Yeah, we're a surf park, like surf park.
You actually learn how to surf. Yeah, they
Where?
Simulate all the waves.
Where's
right
it gonna
by
be?
Top Golf.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I
It's
didn't hear
adjacent to
about
it.
that yet.
Yes, sir.
That's fantastic.
We had the pleasure of being the engineers on that project. So
that's
it
great.
is phenomenal. So
I would love to see an amusement park. I'd still like to see. I know that we're not able to do the Civic Center, but I would still like to see some kind of venue where we could bring in bigger concerts and shows.
Yeah, I would agree. The Martin, it's getting close. Looks good. It's still limited seating.
Limited seating, yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, it's great and it's needed. I'm thankful for it. Yep. But you know what most people say, to have big groups and acts, Broadway shows, stuff like that, you need a minimum 5,000 seats, which is nothing like that on the runway anywhere.
Not that I'm aware of. It's the cost of it is just so expensive.
We need it. So maybe someone out there will say, "Oh, they need that." We do need that, and I mean, with the growth of our area, if it's put somewhere central that everyone could get to it, you'd have people all the way from Fort Walton, all the way from Tallahassee.
Well, as the population grows, I think that comes with it. It's kind of like when a community gets a Publix. You've been put on the map. So
absolutely.
And I think we are getting to that point.
Yeah,
but we love going to shows. My wife being an artist.
I love it. I love a good Broadway show.
Just a pile of plays and musicals and concerts. And
when I tell people that, I remember seeing the Charlie Daniels Band at the Marina Civic Center. I remember seeing several big artists. They were shocked,
Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, I mean, came to Panama City, and I miss the Civic Center. I really do, and I know it's a thing of just money. It's a matter of someone being able to do that. It'd be a big project. Stuff like that is almost like with churches. You know, for years you have these churches that only have Sunday morning service. They're paying lights, insurance, all this stuff to build these big facilities they use for Sunday morning and Wednesday night. Most churches like ours, you know, with childcare, we use our church 6 days a week. The only day we don't use is Saturday, and Saturday's cleaning. Wow. You know, so I mean, it's all week, every day. You know, with the large childcare center, stuff like that. You've seen churches open coffee shops. You've seen church. They're realizing that their greatest tool is their facility, and most of them are being wasted. Sure. That's some of the trouble with big civic centers and theaters. Is it's a lot of money. Yeah. So you got to keep it really busy. You know, you need a show every night, and it's got to stay really busy. And that's why New York, with their theaters that run some of them 2 shows a day. Oh, yeah. You know, they get the use out of them, and so it's used. Unless you can do that, you know, have a theater company, have concert venues that'll bring in enough or whatever, or dual purpose. It's a lot of money not to use all the time. So it's the
only way to make it work. The new Dolly Parton Dinner Theater, it runs 2 shows a day during the summertime. Yeah, because there's such demand as well. Yeah. So
I thought that was great for her to make that investment in our community, and
they bought the Ferris wheel as well.
Yeah,
so they are definitely invested.
Did they really?
They sure did.
That's fantastic. Yeah. It's wonderful. Well, I'm telling you, I'm excited about Bay County, and I appreciate what you're doing for our community.
My pleasure. I
know it takes a lot. I think you're the 3rd commissioner. Eventually, I'll get them all in here. But I think they all said it. They were very surprised at the amount of time that it takes. You know, I think people look at the commission job as a part-time. No, but it's a full-time job. It's a full-time. Between the research and the study and the insights you have to put into decisions. I remember talking to John Robbins years ago, and he told me, I said, how you like it? He said, he said, the problem I didn't have any enemies before I became a commissioner, but he said, every decision, you got to decide yes or no. Sure. And you make someone happy and you make someone angry. And he said, but you know what was I supposed to do? You have to make a decision. Oh, yeah. And he said, that's the hardest part is someone's happy and someone's mad at every decision. And he says, what do? You have to make a decision. Yeah. And I think that some people don't realize the pressure that you people are under with that. I mean, you have to make the choice that you feel is the best for the whole community, not for one person. Oh, absolutely. And it's tough. It's a tough spot. It's a tough spot to be in.
Okay. I'm blessed to be here. I'm fortunate to get to do it and continue to serve this amazing county we live in. And appreciative of you and your service and what you do.
Appreciate that.
Very grateful.
Well, thank you for talking with us today. I appreciate your time. Thank you.